Greetings from the Distortion world, with more blessings from Lord Giratina. I am Dunsparce of the Distortion world, and I welcome you to yet another tale. It may seem morbid with a title, Everything Dies, but there is more to this tale than meets the eye. As we go into the recesses of the mind of Paul. Spoiler alert, Paul is not a human. He's a Pokemon, but I won't reveal what species just yet. Anyway, here begins our tale. Paul's memories. One of the first memories I could recall was my father leaving the family. He didn't speak a word to us, just walked towards the groves. I never saw him again after that day. The part that disturbed me the most was how everybody else took it. They all stood there, watching all with knowing eyes, as if they knew this day would come eventually. My mother was described to be wild, a pharaoh if you will. She had escaped some kind of confinement that my father was bound to, so he only had time to visit us when he could before he vanished from my life entirely. I never got to know him very well. Through her, I was taught the dangers of those that walk the earth on two legs. Anytime I asked why, she would shudder and look away and remind me about my father. She told me the hard fact eventually, after much pestering, that he died. I was confused and asked why did he die, with tearful eyes, and how she knew this. She responded with something so surprisingly cryptic and chilling that it would puzzle me throughout my life and scare me later. Everything dies, sweetie. It was all we were born to do. I was taught to cherish my life since then. I tried to keep a positive mood throughout, making friends with the diverse denizens of the forest. One thing bothered me though. They did not have the things on their backs like my family did. I always had them since birth. I do not know how to describe them. Plant-like, sometimes I see similar things growing out of the ground. Only mine was coming from my back. Odd. Hint, mushrooms. Spores. I was told that we were safe here, hidden in woodland, free to play and wrestle with each other. When I was playing around, I often got a sharp pain in my back that sometimes made me quit entirely. The others did not seem to have these backaches. Then what I assumed to be the rumored two-legged creatures suddenly appeared. They decided to come in our forest. They were after us. Some resisted, some fell, some were knocked and beaten to submission. Some were even killed, but we won't go into detail on how that happened, for that would be morbid for the kitties. And a select few of those were abducted. I should know, because I was one of them. The two-legger that had me by metaphorical leash and collar conversed with an older man about me, specifically, and especially about the things on my back, which seemed to hurt with each passing day. Through this, I learned that they had a benefit for me. They released these purple fumes that seemed to hurt others. I had to learn this quickly myself if I ever stood a chance to survive. There was a mentioning of a specific number. 24. 24? I wanted to know more. Why that number? Why was it important? What did it mean? A long time ago, I had met what I assumed that this parasite would make me do when it's done with me. Whenever that will be, I only assume this because of the fact that our names were similar, and that we had some vague resemblances to each other. Some were small, others were more subtle, but no doubt about it in my mind that we were one and the same. With a little help and guidance, we overcame this monstrosity and left it to die. I got a good look at it. It was horrible! At first I mistook the white dots to its face as the creature's eyes, but I was mistaken. It had none at all. The infection started to grow out of it. How could it see? Was it blind? Dead? But it was moving. How could the thing be dead if it was moving? It's back. Oh God, it's back. That back though. I have come in terms with the fact that I am no longer in control of my body anymore. The parasite is what moves me around. Take orders and all my day-to-day activities. That is all I do. I can't even breathe without the help of the thing inside of me. I have gone into a complete submission. I am now fully under its control, and the human still wouldn't even try to help me. I am starting to believe that he is a sadistic prick who enjoys watching me in my suffering state. Every day my back hurts more and more. The only thing I still have left is my consciousness, and even that I feel is slowly beginning to deteriorate from me. The parasite had gotten into my brain, controlling my movement. Every time I try to move in my own free will, it takes over again. I have absolutely no freedom. The pain, it still hurts all the same without any sympathy. I can feel it inside of me. I feel it more than just my back, though. I feel it beneath my skin, in my nerves and tendrils, making me twitch and itch irritably, writhing, moving, growing. The number the human said that day repeats in my mind every day since, as if that was the only number I knew anymore. 24. 24. 24. 24. One night, I was released from my containment to find the boy alone. Although we speak in different tongues figuratively, he must have sensed how melancholic I was becoming. He embraced my smaller body to his chest for what figured would be his last time. He realized what was going to happen and whispered to me that there was nothing to do about it. There was a way to stop it, but then I'd never have my full potential. He told me that it was nothing personal, but it had to happen. What must be done, must be done. In a whisper, he repeated what my mother told me on that day when my father left. I never understood what she meant, but now I knew. It's okay. Everything dies. I was returned to my dwelling soon thereafter. I awoke in the morning to the movement of my body walking about, the mindless abomination beneath my flesh having full control over my movement. The most I could do was skitter. That only twitched some of the tendrils, and it only delayed the process, however. There was no human in sight, my own or any other. I seemed to be alone in these woods. The only thing I was able to do was think as my body was guided. It climbed a tree before using my own teeth to grip onto the bark. I tried to jerk my head away to get it loose, but it was all in vain. I looked around for any sign of hope or perhaps even help, only to find other members of my species around me in the neighboring trees. The infection inside of them taking root as it burst from their backs in full form. Scarlet trickling the trunk of the tree as well as the ground below. The parasite inside them becoming larger, forming a large bulb crimsoned by the blood of its host. It was then I realized that we as a species were doomed. We were all fated to this horrendous death once we reach maturity. But our body still moves as if it were taken over by something else. My body suddenly grows an intense... It glows, and it also grows while in this intense light. I would blind one's eyes before I became just like my brethren around me. It was almost as if my body had become light in its purity. Then the pain started. The last pain I would ever feel, and it was there at full force. It was almost as if my back was pierced by 1,000 knives. Liquid traveling down it and flowing down that quadra. I screamed out, although nobody told it to stop. Congratulations! Your Paris has evolved into Parasect. That ends our tale. Basically, it gives you a rundown of the life of the Paris community, so to speak. Although you must wonder, the father was a Paris, and so was the mother. But the father had gotten the parasite on his back and had left. Under the parasite's control, the mother was fortunate and was able to either keep her sanity or not evolve at all. What causes Pokemon to evolve when they don't have a stimulus from another trainer? Do they do so on their own? Or is it something else? Perhaps that smug llama goat would know. But then again, we could care less. Because we all know that smug llama goat god is a prick. But don't take it from me. Take it from Lord Giratina himself. Anyway, thank you all for listening to my tale. I am Dunsparce of the Distortion world, and as Henri Sparce would say, take care, farewell, love from the Henri Sparce army, Hell Dunsparce. Later, everyone.